Alright, welcome to another episode of World Championship Cinema. Quickly, wrestling news, I guess. All In. It's coming is this Sunday. I have a few friends going. Guys, have fun. London is a really fun town. If it's open, I say check out the Slimelight, Slim Jim's Liquor Store, pretty much any pub in Camden. That's about it for London, I guess. Uh, the G1. Speaking of London, actually, the G1's winner was Zack Sabre Jr. He was my pick to win, even though they really sold me on Goto. Uh, so Zack is gonna challenge for the title at Ryogoku October 14th. I'm gonna do my best to get tickets to that show because I will be in Tokyo that week, and I made sure that my days in Tokyo involve going to Ryogoku because I've done the Tokyo Dome, I've done Karukian, but I've never done Ryogoku. Excuse me. So can't wait to do that. Humble brag. This week I'm looking forward to seeing Alien Romulus and the Crow reboot. Yes, I am going to see the Crow reboot. I'm not one of those people who are like anti-reboot. Like every generation deserves a story. So it's like my generation, we got the original Crow. Maybe this generation, they get their own version of the Crow. Every generation gets their own version of Dracula. No one cries when there's a new Dracula film. So, yeah, hopefully both movies are entertaining and not worth my time. Or that they are worth my time. So, yeah, this is kind of like a politically incorrect disclaimer. Some of our jokes may, if you listen to the other episodes, sometimes like jokes get a little politically incorrect, but they don't come from a place anywhere outside of love. We love everybody. Love is love. So, with that said, let's just have a good time.
World Championship Cinema, what the world is listening to.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of World Championship Cinema. I'm your host, Diego, and with me is...
Lucina. Hello. It's good to be here.
It's good to have you. What did we watch today?
So we watched the movie that, frankly, should get John Cena the Oscar. We watched Ricky Stanicky.
Ricky Stanicky.
On Amazon Prime.
And if there was a drinking game of how many times they said that name?
Yeah, you don't forget that name.
Yeah, the writer was very proud of the name Ricky Stanicky. So let's see. As I'm doing my research right on camera, Ricky Stanicky stars Zac Efron, which means this is week 1 of the Zac Efron trilogy. And then I'm gonna put a graphic there. Zac Efron.
Oh boy.
Because we're also going to be doing Baywatch, starring Zac Efron and The Rock. And we're going to do The Iron Claw. A really uplifting, also romantic comedy. But the cast for Ricky Stanicky is Zac Efron, Andrew Santino, who's one of these actors that I've seen in a million things, but I don't know his name. So now I'm have to look it up. Jermaine Fowler, and because, this is the wrestling podcast where we review movies that have wrestlers in it or is about wrestling. The wrestler of the week is Australia's own Nathan Jones. Lucy, what's your favorite Nathan Jones match?
I love how you're such a big nerd that you just see this guy for a split second and you're like, Nathan Jones! And I'm like, what the fuck? It's like, let me see. Like Puerto Rican. It's like, what?
Where are they? Okay, they just set us some around.
Not in the zip code.
My wallet.
That was a pleasant surprise to have another wrestling tie-in there. I wonder if him and Cena were buddies on set. Do you think they talked?
They definitely talked because they were Nathan Jones' only real program was the start of Cena's face turn because he was the evil heel rapper for years and
the evil wigger.
Yeah, and the Big Show was mounting his army of Brock Lesnar and the Big Show are mounting their army of giants. So it's the Big Show, Brock Lesnar, Nathan Jones, Matt Morgan,
The fifth giant, I want to say it was A-Train. I don't know why I used two hands and there's only 5 names. An A-Train, aka Albert, who's the current head of WWE NXT, I think. I don't know. So at the time it was Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit. They were trying to recruit Cena to join their battle against the Giants. So Nathan Jones and Cena, they've had to work together in the ring.
Okay.
So that's the wrestling knowledge that I'm mansplaining to you right now.
Yeah. Nah, I don't fucking know. That's cool. All right.
Yeah, this is 2002. What was you doing in 2002?
I was in 2nd grade, I think, or 3rd grade, recovering from having seen the World Trade Center blow up a year prior. But anyway.
Anything else happen?
It's all a blur. Yeah. Although I was a big WWE fan.
You were just not a big Nathan Jones fan because he's Australian, right?
Dude, he gets a pass.
He gets a pass, nice. What about Robbie Eagles?
Dude, just try so hard to follow Dr. Martin Luther King and just, judge people by the content of their character.
And not the prison colony in which they came from. That's what he said verbatim.
He's just so hateable. I'm sorry. Like, I just hate him.
He hates Robbie Eagles.
So, fucking grating my ears every time he talks. Just fuck up, dude.
But back to Ricky Stanicky, and not the podcast is gonna get us kicked off Australian. We're just gonna get demonetized on YouTube Australia.
Nah, some Australians are cool.
Russell Crowe? Is he Australian?
He's on the fence. That's a good. I assume, or New Zealandish.
I always thought he was British. I don't know. I never paid attention. Sorry. So yeah, back to Ricky Stanicky.
Yeah, this is great. It's just basically John Cena playing a terrible drug addict scumbag who is just such a dedicated and charismatic actor that he inadvertently improves the lives of everyone, of the entire cast, really.
Yeah, if I could be serious for a second, one thing I did appreciate about this movie was that it had a lot of able-bodied people in it, and they weren't used for punchlines.
You mean disabled people?
Yeah, what is able-bodied?
Able-bodied, that's like a regular. I don't mean to say regular, but
a non-disabled.
A non-disabled person.
Oh shit! Sorry, I'm not really. I try to be. I'm not. I do believe in Jesus' golden rules and loving everybody, not judging. It's just I'm not good with names. Did you know that I'm part BIPOC or BIPOC?
That's okay. You didn't even know what that stood for last night, so. Oh man.
Biracial.
It stands for Black and Indigenous People of Color.
Which my grandfather was Black, grandmother was Native American, so I guess that makes me a second, third generation.
Congrats. I mean, that doesn't make you disabled, but
I'm just saying, I just try not to. I'm not really good with focusing on names and genres of things. I just know if you're a good person, no matter what, you're cool. If you're a shitty person, if you're if you're a shitty person with a fake leg or a fake arm, or if you're a shitty person that's blind, that doesn't stop you. That doesn't give you a pass,
Content of their character.
Yeah,
Dr.
exactly.
King.
Dr. King. So it's a good thing this episode's coming out January 20th.
But it was cool, yeah. That was just as a random comment. There were there was a guy with a cane, and then some little people throughout the movie. There
was a lady, yeah.
Yeah, they weren't it wasn't addressed or treated as a punchline. It was just a normal thing.
Cool. if this was a Farrelly brother, well, one of the Farrelly brothers, Peter Farrelly, yeah. So which they've made there's something about Mary and maybe Dumb and Dumber. This is a movie podcast, so we are full of knowledge, and I have to Google a lot of things. But this was the '90s. Their height would have been the punchline. That lady in the wheelchair would have been the punchline. The guy with the I'm glad that we're past that.
Yeah, you could definitely describe it as kind of immature humor and dick jokes and jerking off jokes, but it was a thinking man's crude comedy, you could say.
This honestly felt like it was kind of like a trauma movie with a multi-million-dollar budget. Because if you watch trauma movies, it's a lot of dick jokes and fart jokes and just a lot of low-hanging fruit with the occasional, like, wow, that was actually brilliant in it. But, but with, made by, with a budget of sticks and glue and a prayer. But so this movie, obviously is well made, and it's just the humor was very, very kind of lowbrow, but at the same time heartwarming, which is weird. A good combination.
Yeah, what made me want to watch this is my second time watching this movie because I enjoyed it so much. What made me want to watch this movie was on Twitter, like seeing a gif of John Cena portraying various classic rock stars and doing, dirty covers of their songs. And I was like, oh, wow, I gotta see this.
Cena as Britney Spears.
Yeah, that was kind of a tease because we see him in the Baby One More Time outfit. However, we don't see him perform, unfortunately. We do see him perform as Billy Idol, Alice Cooper, and some others. That was your favorite.
Well, actually, Whip It, like, the song Whip It, I was like, I didn't realize Whip It was sexual until, like, seeing it. It's like, whoa, Devo, I expected better from you.
You didn't even really have to change the lyrics on that one. You could just sing it as is.
But what I liked about that scene, Cena dressed up like Britney kind of awakened something in me. I will start my new drag show soon. My drag name is going to be Jen, Jen, last name Der Norma. So I'll be
wow, gender norm. Interesting.
Gender Norma.
Gender Norma. Yeah. Okay. That's, you know what? As a bi-POC, I think
I will be the first bi-POC LGBT DIA DOA FBI performer.
Well, I believe in you.
Thank you. I mean, I have no talent in singing or dancing.
Hey, just look at Rock Hard Rod. He made it.
Yeah, he really taught us a lot. He taught us that, you know what? No matter how much you lie, everything will work out in the end.
Yeah.
That's what I learned from this movie. Like, was there any comeuppance? There were lessons learned? No, just
everything worked out in the end, despite lying to every person in your life for multiple years and just taking vacations with your bros. It's all good because John Cena came in to save the day.
It's funny because I actually had my own Ricky Stanicky growing up. Never had a last name. It was always just Pablo. Like whenever I knew I was gonna do something else to get me in trouble with my mom, or like if I was late or whatever, just blamed it on Pablo. And then when I was a senior in high school, I met a kid named Pablo, introduced him to my mom, and this is like the first week of meeting this kid. And my mom's like, "Oh, wow, Pablo, I've heard so much about you." And I forgot to tell him that, oh yeah, I've been using that name as my excuse for my bad behavior for decades. For not decades, for years.
What a rascal.
Wow, a rascal indeed.
But did it work out for you through the power of friendship?
Yes, thanks to, Pablo helped, I was working at UPS at the time, and they were discussing a merger with FedEx. So when I hired Pablo to work at UPS, he helped with the merger of UPS and FedEx, and we called it FedUp.
The American dream.
What else?
But yeah, this movie really made me realize just how good of a comedic actor John Cena is. I think he was fantastic. I think this was like the best type of movie for John Cena to be in. We could show off his comedy chops, but there's some dramatic scenes in there, and he just plays them I think, perfectly, honestly.
Yes, I mean, yeah, because we keep having this debate of who's the best wrestling actor.
Well, this is a debate that you mostly just talk at me, and I just indulge you.
I mean, she's asleep half the time I talk anyway, so it's okay.
I didn't miss anything important. It's okay.
Just keep going.
What? You're moving to Japan?
Well, thanks to Pablo, I'm moving to Japan. I have to go rescue him from something.
Oh, yeah, he's taking a break from fighting Ebola in Nairobi.
Yes, which is a very important thing to Pablo and I. The Ebola outbreak in Nairobi. We're going to put a link in the description below for a GoFundMe. That if you go straight into my bank account, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's not a scam. But yeah, another thing this movie's taught me is I don't need luggage. Just put it all in a strong garbage bag. And
yeah, I was like, who thought of that? Did someone actually witness someone using a garbage bag as a luggage bag?
I mean, I use garbage bags when I moved.
That's okay.
So I figure maybe someone might have just upgraded it. Another thing this movie's taught me is, I feel like, this is something I want to pass on to my family and if I ever have children and my grandchildren, and that's the upside down barbershop.
There were the upside down barber.
Yeah, the upside down barber. That's something I need to.
There were several acts that are not of a family nature that John Cena's character was quite familiar with, and we did have to Google most of them, all of them.
She Googled it. I still use Ask Jeeves.
We could play some Winnie the Pooh searching for a honey stick later. Or
that's the only one I remember. And Mount. We'll figure out. We'll list it below or to the side.
I like to think that John Cena just improv'd those.
What is? So, on a serious note, not really a serious note, what is if you could think of it, you don't have to answer now, but like, what's your favorite, like, John Cena wrestling program? Like, who he worked with? So, like, you're like, oh, I like this feud at Umanga.
Oh, girl. I don't.
You heard it here first. Her favorite John Cena program was the John Cena versus Umanga I Quit match Royal Rumble. What year was that?
07.
We'll go with that 07, yes. And if she's wrong, she'll send $1 to everybody that's not listening. Just kidding. More disclaimers I'm going to put on the side right here. It's going to be like half the videos. Someone makes a GIF, it's just me doing this, pointing at the box next door. So let's look up some fun facts about this movie that I should have done already.
Honestly, the light is like, it's weird.
When you Googled Ricky Stanicky, one of the things is, was Ricky Stanicky a good movie? So, would you recommend Ricky Stanicky to your friends and or me?
Well, since I forced you to watch it, I do recommend it. But yeah, honestly, I'd watch it one time. It was a good movie. Like, it was, I think, rooted enough in a believable world, but there were some wacky moments. But I guess it could conceivably happen in real life. Next time we're in Atlantic City, we'll keep an eye out for any rock hard rods.
Yeah, definitely, especially if they do
Splooge out my penis. Splooge on my tummy. Yes.
Great song. And that was Mark Ribbolett in the concert. Like, are you familiar with Mark Ribbolett?
No.
He's like kind of like I thought he was a stand-up comedian that like just happened to use he has like a drum machine and like he just improvs like most of his concerts live. So you don't really, from what I gather, you don't really know what you're getting when you go to a show. If you go to a concert, you're like, hey, better, Blue Oyster Cult better play, Godzilla, This guy's like, no, you're just here, you're just gonna get.
Who was he in the movie?
The concert they went to, like when it's the reason why they went to Atlantic City.
Right. Oh, so that was a real guy.
That's a real guy, yeah.
Interesting.
And I'm wondering, like, does he owe someone a favor, or was the director just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there was some funny name drops in there. John Cena did an Owen Wilson impression that.
Wait, that wasn't Owen Wilson?
I know, you couldn't see him. Hey,
yo, we're working here. The Christmas book is actually a really good idea.
Oh yeah, I was totally spacing out when he was explaining his plot. It's like an adult version of Christmas with a buff Santa.
Yeah, well, the original story with the seeds or whatever, that was terrible.
Yeah. Like
that, yeah, the Santa, like him and Ricky were just, workshopping a pride-themed Santa thing. Like, why can't Santa be ripped? We have a movie, Santa with muscles starring everybody's favorite Hulk Hogan. And for those listening, that's me doing my Pinocchio.
How dare you lie on this podcast?
This podcast is a beacon of truth.
Truth is stored in the balls.org. Subscribe to my podcast. where we talk about how the clitoris doesn't exist.
That's right. It's something made up. Women made up the clitoris to make us feel better being terrible in bed.
That's right, babe.
You're right. 30 seconds is too long.
I'm like, yeah, all right, you can wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
No, I'm just kidding. Deleted scenes. So, would you recommend Ricky Stanicky?
Honestly, I thought it was a good movie, but it's almost 2 hours. That's my beef.
Yeah.
That's my beef. I was like,
They could have shortened it a little bit, but honestly, I enjoyed the characters and the acting, so I didn't mind it. But yeah, at some point, you're like, okay, can we wrap it up here?
it's just like, wow, this movie's still going on. Like you have the setup, you have the meat, and then you have to resolve. And they did do a lot of they did do what we learned in Chikara wrestling, not to name girl. It's a thing when wrestling is called expectation subversion. So when you do the setup, it's something you've seen a million times. Then the next step is something you've seen a million times. So now you're expecting the delivery to be something you've seen a million times. And then all you do is just tweak it a little bit, and then boom, you have gold. So
you think whoever wrote this movie really studied wrestling psychology?
If you want to be a good storyteller, you gotta study wrestling psychology. I will take that to the grave.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. It's an important element.
So next week we're gonna do we're gonna do Baywatch starring Zac Efron. And then the week after we're gonna be doing The Iron Claw, also starring Zac Efron. So are we morphing into a Zac Efron podcast?
Let me know when you do High School Musical.
Are there any wrestlers in it?
I'm sure if I find one, then we'll watch it.
It's Vanessa Hudgens.
Yeah.
Vanessa Hutchinson.
Vanessa Hudgens, well known for her heel streak. When she said, "Who cares if people die from COVID?"
She said that?
Yeah. People are gonna die. And yeah, it's sad.
Wow.
Yeah, she was kind of right, low-key, but it was just at the time when everyone was of the opinion if you don't wear a mask 24/7, you're basically Hitler, so.
This guy looks like a wrestler. Wow, that's crazy. Obviously, COVID's quote-unquote, big quotation marks, quote-unquote over, even though I know people who are still getting it. But it's just like, I just think both sides of the debate just overreacted in the complete opposite directions. It's just like, hey, maybe we could learn how to do something here. It's like, no, we're not gonna learn, so we're gonna do it only wear a mask 24/7 and be dressed like a beekeeper, or just fucking cough in each other's faces. Like there was I feel like there wasn't enough middle ground to figure out hey, there's a problem, we should solve it logically.
How dare you infringe on my freedom?
To cough in Nana's face.
Hey, she gotta go sometime.
And on that happy note. So seriously, recommendations. John Cena, Team Angle, I think you're called, versus Team Lesnar, SummerSlam 2002. That way we get both actors in this movie covered. So that'll be your homework assignment tonight. It should be on.
Oh man.
Oh man, you want me to get high and watch wrestling and hear you explain to me why a German suplex is better than a Northern Light suplex?
I would like to know, actually.
I don't know. I think a Northern Light suplex is better, actually.
I see. All right. I'll do my homework. Sensei.
All right, we're terrible at goodbye, so I'm just going to do the usual shuffle and then credits. Say goodbye, Lucy.
Peace out.